Chelsea was spending 80 to 90% of her day worrying and stressing about food and how her body looked. And recently she just met someone dating, and in any spare time that she had, they were all she could think about. She was finding that her life was run by anxiety, overthinking, and insecurity. If this is something that you relate to, and you also have seen people move through life with this calm self-assurance, this peace, this alignment, and they always kind of just seem to do things right. And if things don't go according to plan, then they're kind of chill about it. They just regroup and then redirect themselves. And you might have looked at these people and thought, great for them, that's just not me, I'm just not wired that way, but you've wanted to be wired that way. Then in this video, I'm hoping that I have some insights and breakthroughs for you that could make you feel a lot more confident that you can. One of the most common reasons for anxiety and overthinking and indecisiveness and preoccupation is something called being attached to outcomes. But imagine if, as you are now, you felt peaceful, secure, aligned, good about yourself, and no matter what results you get, and no matter what people think of you, you continue to feel peaceful and aligned and fulfilled and good about yourself. You could be in touch with what you need, what you value, and act accordingly. You would be free to do so. And these other people that you see navigate life with this ease and calm and self-assurance and flexibility, I'm betting they are not attached to outcomes, they are attached to themselves. They might want certain results or other people to like them, but they don't need it. I'm going to run through 2 examples of how being attached to outcomes creates anxiety and overthinking. And then we're going to look at the very important question of how does attaching to outcomes create anxiety and overthinking? Okay, example 1. Susan avoids conflict at all costs. She fears conflict. She hates it. If people disagree with her opinion or she disagrees with someone else, it makes her extremely uncomfortable. She is attached to outcomes. Her sense of peace and security in herself is dependent on being agreeable to other people. And she can't control how other people feel or what their opinions are. So all of her interactions are weighted. She's constantly monitoring and analyzing herself and other people to find what she can and can't say or do to make sure that she can keep the peace. Emma has this sense of, if my partner's okay and happy, I'm okay and happy. If her partner isn't okay or isn't happy, she finds it very destabilizing. So she finds herself constantly on guard. What does my partner want? What does he need? How can I amend myself in order to make sure that he's happy? If you believe that you might be struggling with being attached to outcomes and it's creating anxiety and overthinking unnecessarily in your life, it can absolutely feel like something that you don't have a choice in or like it's something that happens to you. But the great news is that in reality, it's typically something that we are creating for ourselves. Being attached to outcomes is something that we have control over. Detaching from outcomes is something we have control over. So what I'm about to play for you is a lesson that's taken out of a program that is specifically designed to help people detach from outcomes and align with themselves. In this lesson, you're going to see how by choosing to be attaching to outcomes creates anxiety and overthinking. You're going to see it very logically, step by step. I'm going to play the video now.
I'm going to show you another example here of when someone's self-worth is attached to other people's approval, which is an outcome. It's something external to them, not within their direct control. And this is interesting what happens here, because someone needs this, right? Or they think that they need this external approval in order to feel good about themselves. And let's say that they also value honesty and kindness and being authentic. They're not aware of this in this example, but these values, they're there. You know, they don't like being disingenuous. It doesn't fulfill them. And they're not aware that they value being kind and honest, but that's also something that fulfills them. And it's inherent to them, whether they're aware of it or not. Now, this person, in this example, they go about their day, usually in a stressed out manner, and I'll show you why. And they make a choice, which is driven by their value to be honest and kind and authentic. So they just do something, right? And they didn't think too much about it, but it was authentic to them. And it was coming from an intention of being honest and an intention of being kind. And now what happens if the person receiving it is mad at them or they disapprove? Well, now, because what this person said or did has taken them further away from that other person's approval, which their self-worth is attached to, right? Now they conclude, therefore, this choice must have been a wrong one. I must have said or done something wrong. And they reflect and they evaluate on that choice through that lens, and they consider, what can I do differently next time when interacting with this person to ensure that I get their approval? They might analyze the situation, for example. That's very common. That this is the way that they evaluate their choices. Whereas someone that's attached to themselves would be very aware of, I value honesty, I value kindness, I value being authentic. I'm going to live my life freely with those intentions. It comes very naturally to me because they're genuine values. And some people may approve, some people may not approve. And if someone's mad at me, then I'm reflecting on, hey, did I show up how I wanted to show up? Was I authentic? Was I honest? Was I kind? Did I have those intentions? Did I show up how I wanted to show up? Yes. Okay. Then I accept their disapproval. We're just not aligned in this moment. And they can do that because their self-worth is not attached to other people's approval. Their self-worth is attached to them being aware of what it is that they fundamentally value and fulfilling that. Fulfilling their values and needs for themselves is what they derive their self-worth from.
You can be that person that is confidently focused on fulfilling their needs and values without trying to control results. Right now, it might feel like you have to work out or make nutritious food for yourself, because if you don't, you feel bad about yourself. That's being attached to outcomes. You can be that person that goes to the gym or works out or makes nourishing food from a place of self-care because you want to, not because you think you have to. The crucial next step is understanding why you became attached to outcomes in the first place. We need to get that out, we need to validate it, and we need to address it, because otherwise things won't change. To make sense of that, I've made a YouTube video specifically on this, which you can check out after this video. Why attaching to outcomes can feel like a good idea, even though it can lead to this sense of being out of control in our own lives. I definitely recommend that you check out that video. You can find it in the description if this is a journey that you're interested in. You don't want to skip developing that understanding, trust me. If at this point you're wanting the entire process of how to do this, step by step, the practical guidance, if you want to know what your needs and values are, you want to know how to fulfill them, you want your fears and concerns addressed, and you want the practical guidance of how to get started with this immediately and implement it into your life, then you can find more information on that program as well in the description if that's what you need. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.